When I saw the trailer for the new Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson movie Reminiscence, it didn't create excitement in me. It was a confusing jumble of imagery and made me think that it was just a rehashing of things we've seen before. It's in both theaters and on HBO Max right now, but is it worth your time to watch? A private investigator of the mind navigates the alluring world of the past when his life is changed by a new client. A simple case becomes an obsession after she disappears and he fights to learn the truth about her. This is a classic neo-noir. We have Hugh Jackman as the disheveled private investigator type, Rebecca Ferguson as the femme fatale, and a mysterious disappearance that haunts the character and sends them on their quest. The narration at the beginning of the movie actually worked for me. I enjoyed the nostalgia of the storytelling through an unseen voice that's patiently walking us through all that has and is happening. Jackman has a business that allows people to relive their memories, and as part of the process, Jackman leads them through their minds, and then he can view the scenes which play out in a 3D representation in front of him. It's kind of like a movie being projected. One day a woman comes in trying to remember where she lost her keys, and from there a tale of love, obsession, and deceit unfolds. Jackman's character is obsessed, and he plays it effectively as a man who's infatuated and in love with a woman full of secrets. We have to believe that he wants to find her, that he is so in love with her that he is willing to risk everything to find her. And I felt that from Jackman. Rebecca Ferguson is excellent as the femme fatale. She embodies grace, style, sensuality, and intrigue, and I like her combo with Jackman. Now, we have seen them paired before in The Greatest Showman, and here there's even more chemistry. They create a convincing pair who cause conflict and desire in each other's lives. Thandie Newton is the great sidekick to Jackman. She's tough, loyal, flawed, but effective, and she complements Jackman and fills in where he lacks. Now, some of the dialogue in this is fairly awkward, but most of it works effectively to draw us into the characters, which then delivers some good emotional punch. The ancient story of Orpheus and Eurydice are a major clue to what's going on in the movie. Now, Orpheus loses the love of his life, and when he has the opportunity to lure her back from the underworld, he loses faith, turns back, and in that moment loses her forever. On the poster for the movie, it even states, "Don't look back." I love this portion of the movie and its influence on the story. We watch Jackman descend further and further into the underworld in his search for Ferguson. And that underworld isn't just a physical place, but it's also his own mind. This whole theme of Orpheus and Eurydice plays out across the entire story, and it's very noticeable if you're aware. There's a sci-fi element to this too, and it works to build out the world and assist with a lot of the storytelling. And I didn't think it was over the top or even ill-placed. I think it was an addition that actually helps to keep the story grounded. We need a way for some of the investigation to progress, and I think it did that in good fashion. There's a really good story here. The story is slower, but it didn't bother me. That's a characteristic of noir and neo-noirs. There's also a social commentary that's trying to be told in this that has to do with borders, wars, the wealthy, and even the environment. They felt clunky and like forced addition to the narrative. There's also a portion where Jackman assists the police in something because of his expertise and background with memories, and this felt a little more like a story convenience than anything, but I still didn't mind because it moved the narrative forward without feeling unnatural. Now, there's a sequence that takes place in a bar about halfway through the film, and it takes the film out of the neo-noir genre and straight into an action movie. The transition is startling and really out of the blue, and it didn't fit with the feel that the movie had established. Then immediately after that scene, the film returns to its slower and deliberate pace. There's another action sequence that takes place, and again, it just doesn't fit. And I don't think it was even choreographed that well. The timings look stiff and become ineffective instead of exciting. We have a few first-person perspectives, and they're less convincing too. The action is a little too slow for what's going on. Like, if a person is in a fight, the movements should be faster and jerkier, but they're just kind of very smooth and slow. This movie does require patience to watch. Like any good noir, the storytelling is deliberate, but it's not fast. It leads us down twisting paths that slowly unveil portions that will show us the truth. It's an hour and 55 minutes long, and I do think I felt the time a little bit in places, but I was also invested in the mystery, so it didn't bore me or cause me to lose interest. And there's a mystery within the mystery, which I found to be intriguing, and I liked how it added massive story complications. I also like the world building that is set up. The oceans have risen, causing many of the coastal cities to be at least partially flooded. This sets up some good visuals, but also because of how it affects the temperatures, the majority of the action takes place at night where it's cooler in temperature. The darkness helps to enhance the mysteriousness and makes the film fit even more into that neo-noir genre. I was surprised by this. Now maybe it's because the trailer created some lower expectations for the film, but the depth and complexity really did craft a world that I enjoyed visiting. I even found the ending to be satisfying. I think it answers questions that might still be lingering, but also shows us some really great growth on the main characters. Each has a chance to shine and display a nobility, which helps to redeem any previously questionable behaviors. Now overall, I don't think this will resonate as a general interest film. I believe the story influence of Orpheus and Eurydice is brilliant and adds some great depth to the overall tale. And while I do think the social commentary is a bit heavy-handed and the inclusion of high action sequences are an odd fit, I still enjoyed the layered mystery. I know I'm going to be in the minority on this one, but the inclusion of the ancient tale made me appreciate the story so much more. There is sex but no nudity, a lot of profanity, and some violence. I give Reminiscence 4 out of 5 couches. Have you been looking forward to this one? Do you have a favorite noir or neo-noir movie you can recommend? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.